Hello everyone. From today onwards, I'm going to document everything that I do and learn. Per day, I will upload one video summarizing the things that I did. So today we are going to discuss about AI engineering. And to learn about AI engineering, it usually takes 5 to 6 months. And if you that means you need to practice 3 to 4 hours every day. So first of all, let's discuss what is AI engineering. So AI engineering is something in between data scientist and software engineering. So it is something. It is the fundamental thing or the engineering that comes in between data scientists and software engineering. So in industry, the work of AI engineering is implemented based on hands-on best. You need to know the core concept, overview concept of this thing. So to become an AI engineer, you need to know something related to software engineering as well as something related to data scientist. So what are the things that comes under AI engineering? So first is AI, that is artificial intelligence, then ML, machine learning, then generative AI and deep learning. So to learn this AI engineering, you need to have a learner mindset, all right? That is, you need to give time to yourself into learning these things. So the three fundamental concepts that you need to know is math, Python, that is the programming language, and you need to know core DSA, that is you need to know core data structure and algorithm. So as an AI engineer, you need to learn machine language and deep learning algorithms. So that means you need to know both machine learning and deep learning algorithms. So before that, your fundamental have to be clear. So step one is you need to know the mathematical fundamentals. So why do we need mathematics in AI engineering? Because whenever we talk about machine learning, there is the use of data. So we only talk about datas, or we only make something by knowing or using the data. All right, so these data are stored in vectors and matrices, so you need to be perfect in vectors and matrix calculations, matrix the things related to matrix. All right, then that is machine learning. Okay, machine learning uses algorithms that uses the concept of probability and calculus. So you also need to know something about calculus and probability, because that is the main core concept or fundamental mathematics that you need in this topic in AI engineering. So within the mathematics, you also need to know some concept related to linear algebra, calculus, probability, and discrete mathematics. Okay, the step one is knowing the fundamentals of mathematics. Now moving on to step two, that is programming language. So I prefer you to use Python as the main programming language, because Python is the most popular programming language and it is mainly used in the field of data engineering, or while using or while um, while making the use of data. Python is mainly used. So you need to know the programming language fundamentals. So that means all the basics of Python, you need to know it, because Python is popular programming in the field of AI. And by learning the Python, you can start your journey in machine learning. So you need to know the fundamentals. So fundamental means learning the core concepts. So core concept means programming language syntax. All right, so what is the programming language syntax? You need to know it. Then how do variables work, what are the variables in Python and how it works, you need to know that. Then how do conditionals work, you also need to know that. Okay, all right, so these are conditionals, loops, functions, and the main is object oriented programming, OOPs, you also need to know that. So that is the main core concept of Python, you need to know that. So as an AI engineer, you need to know how to write the code in Python and understand what the code tells you. All right, you need to just know how the code functions, how the loop works, how the variables work, how the conditions work. All right, and you need to know the concept of OOPs. What are inheritance, what is the method of how we can just use the abstraction, polymorphism. These are the concepts of OOPs you need to know know while learning Python. And moving on to third step is learning about the DSS, that is data structures and algorithms. So you need to know it. All right, you need to focus on arrays, linked list. What are linked list? Stacks. What is stacks? Queues, trees. All right, you need to know these fundamental things. Okay, stacks means what? First come stack follows what kind of method? LIFO. All right, last in first out method. Queues, you need to know these things. Then moving on to next step is learning about data science. So you need to give your majority of time and focus in learning data science. As an AI engineer, you need to give most of your time into learning data science, because while learning data science you are dealing with data. So by dealing with data, you need to know about the clean concept or clear concept of data set. All right, what is data set? How do we use the data set in our language model? You need to know that. You need to analyze, you need to pre-process the data. Basically you need to know how do we prepare data pipeline. You need to know that. Then we can use data set platforms like Kaggle. How can we how can you make yourself aware to use the data set platforms like Kaggle? You need to know that. Then there are many open source APIs. All right, you need to learn using it. All right, you need to know different open source API. You need to use it, you need to implement it in your program. And this is where the part of Python libraries come. You need to know about the different libraries of Python that include NumPy, what is regex, then OpenCV, pandas. You need to know all these libraries of Python. For the visualization, we are going to use Matplot for Seaborn. All right, then moving on to next within the data science, that is machine learning. So machine learning again is categorized into three categories, that is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced learning. So the work we do in machine learning is about recommendations and predictions. So while dealing with some models, we are feeding datas, right? And then within those datas, by feeding those datas, we need to recommend or we need to predict what will be the future future uh, things that we're gonna get from it. We need to know it. Then we see and use different kinds of algorithms here. We use different kinds of algorithm within machine learning. Within supervised algorithm, we deal with label data. All right, example. So talking about the example, checking which email is spam email and which is not email. All right, that is the example of supervised algorithms. And within unsupervised algorithm, it could be market analysis. By analyzing the data of supermarkets, we see the milk and bread where something which were brought together. All right, so these are the things that supervised algorithm, unsupervised algorithm, we are going to learn. And again, there is another algorithm known as reinforced learning or reinforced algorithm. So that is what similar to dog training. That is, there are no penalties and reward in reinforcement learning. All right, so basically if our algorithm predicts something correctly, we feed it rewards, we give it rewards. That is, if we feed it positive values, and that is, if you feed positive values, that is reward. But if it gives wrong output, then we feed it penalty, that is negative values. So these are the things that we do in reinforced learning. Now moving on to next, that is classical examples of reinforced learning is self-driving car. All right, self-driving car is we just we just feed rewards. All right, if we give positive values, that is, if we just know the algorithm, how the work is doing, so that comes under rewards. So simple, you need to understand is the basic concept of reinforced learning is self basic example of reinforced learning is self-driving cars. Moving on to next, that is majority of AI application use supervised and unsupervised algorithm. All right, to summarize, there are different algorithms in machine learning. There is regression, classification, decision trees, SVM, support vector machines, clustering, reinforced learning. And there is one library called skit learning. We will start to use this library And then there is deep learning. So we study neural networks and their architectures. This is the exact point where we will uncover our AI powers, different neural networks. For like ANN, that is artificial neural networks, CNN, convolutional neural networks, RNN, recurrent neural networks, GAN, generative adversarial networks, forward progression propagation algorithm, for back propagation algorithm. We are going to learn that. Then within data science there is another thing known as LLM, that is large language models. So whenever we use chat gpt, gemini's, llama tools, there are basically classical examples of what llamas are. All right, there are popular use cases of AI. They are a mix of NLP, that is natural language processing, and Gen AI, that is generative AI. In NLP, that is natural language programming, we are processing in natural language processing, we learn about human language. In sentiment analysis, we analyze speech from which we from word which is sent from word, like which sentiment is evoked. We are going to learn that. Then there comes using generative AI. We generate context, textual content, pictures, videos, and sound. So in the fourth step, we need to know how theoretically these large language models are built and how we can theoretically build our LLMs. Then fifth process is building real world projects. So from here, we are going to build some real world projects. So if you are going to land some job or something like that, first you need to at least have 3 to 4 big projects in your resume, and you need to deploy those projects in your GitHub repository. While making those project, you can refer to research paper and implement it. Or we can do project based on industry, which include finance, that is loan risk analysis or fraud detection, entertainment. All right, within entertainment you can do a lot of things related to the things that use AI. You can do those things within entertainment. Then there comes healthcare, for example health monitoring or drug discovery. And you can also build your project related to e-commerce. So make this project based on different industries. So I recommend, while doing different kinds of project, you make one project related to finance, then other project related to entertainment, healthcare, and e-commerce. By doing so, there is a high chance of you being selected in different kinds of and different fields. All right. And then for internship, you can practice different hackathons or directly apply to the companies. And then Important libraries while learning machine learning, deep learning, generative AI. While using this algorithm, you can go all of these things. All right. And These are some of the project ideas I have listed here. So that's all. So to be honest, this is the thing that I'm going to do for uh, I'm going to invest my time every day. I'm going to post the video. And I don't know, I myself know that I'm not clear. I am not clear myself, but I collected these things, and I've said to myself that I will learn, I will make myself clear, I will grow, and I will just post every day. That's all. And I will improve my English as well. And I'm being raw and real, all right? That this is the thing. I'm going to link this in my description as well. You can also check it out. Yeah, let's get it done.